Hello and welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that talks about breeding of terrorism and its impact on South Asian nations. Let's begin with the headlines first. Al-Qaeda continues to cooperate closely with LET Haqqani network, says UN report. 2 Jaish commanders eliminated in Kashmir, Indian security forces on major crackdown on terrorism. Afghanistan witnessed series of Taliban attacks as election campaigns begin in the country. And repeated terror attacks struck Quetta expose Pakistan's counter-terrorism measures. The United Nations said in a report that Pakistan-based terror outfit Al-Qaeda continues to cooperate closely with Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Haqqani network. The statements on these terror outfits have been mentioned in 24th report of the Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team, which was submitted to the United Security Council Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee this month, a report.
Pakistan's consistent support to terror outfits is a major reason behind healthy manifestation of terror outfits in South Asia. Terror organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Al-Qaeda, which operate from Pakistan, are continuing their activities and mutual support to wreak havoc in South Asia, especially India and Afghanistan. The Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team recently submitted its 24th report to the UNSC Sanctions Committee, stating that the terror group Al-Qaeda remains resilient and continues to cooperate closely with Pakistan-based terror outfits like Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Haqqani network.
After the downfall of ISIS in Iraq and Syria, Al-Qaeda is realizing that it has still relevance in the global jihadi terror. Therefore, it is trying to research. But as far as its alliance with the Pakistan-based terror groups is concerned, to my mind, this is nothing new, because Al-Qaeda and Pakistan's ISI have always been very close. It's the ISI which had given shelter to Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, and it's ISI which has always been helping Al-Qaeda to find shelter in Afghanistan with the help of Taliban, because Taliban is nothing but the product of ISI. So therefore, the nexus between the Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Haqqani network, and maybe even the other terror groups operating from Pakistan like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish Mohammad is nothing new, but definitely it is going to change the scenario in South Asia.
The half-yearly report further reveals that the Al-Qaeda considers Afghanistan a continuing safe haven for its leadership, relying on its long-standing and strong relationship with the Taliban. Under Taliban patronage, Al-Qaeda is also keen to strengthen its presence in Badakhshan and Paktika province of Afghanistan, as Al-Qaeda leaders Ayman al-Zawahiri, Hamza bin Laden and the Taliban leadership have repeatedly emphasized the importance of the alliance between the two groups.
The US is making a mistake by getting into an agreement with Taliban and neglecting the elected government in Afghanistan, because there has been no change in the mindset of Taliban. Taliban continues to be as bad and as ferocious as it was earlier. It continues to be as radical as it was. So therefore, to let Afghanistan fall into the hands of Taliban is going to be very, very dangerous. And the nexus between Taliban and Al-Qaeda is well known. It is Taliban which had allowed Al-Qaeda to settle in Afghanistan, and Taliban Supremo had accepted Al-Qaeda leader as the supremo of all jihadi organizations. So therefore, whenever Taliban comes to power in Afghanistan, it is definitely going to ensure revival of Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda will become much stronger than what it is today once Taliban get a firm foothold in Afghanistan.
Talking about Islamic State, the report notes that the Islamic State of Iraq and Levant is reported to be moving towards a hub and spoke network in its remote provinces, which is a logical extension of the dispersed, delegated leadership approach. The UN intelligence report also warned about secret Islamic State terror cells which have primed to carry out complex attacks in unexpected locations around the world before the end of the year. The report also noted that outside the core conflict zone, ISIL and Al-Qaeda are both contending for dominance and international relevance.
ISIS has been defeated, but it has not been decimated. ISIS fighters have dispersed all over the world and are now sitting as cells or they are deployed as cells in various parts of the world, waiting for instructions from the central leadership to act as and when required. And you've already seen few instances of ISIS affiliates and ISIS-inspired organizations having acted, particularly in Sri Lanka. Their threat in South Asia continues. ISI is also in touch with ISIS Khorasan province, that is ISK, the outfit of ISIS which is based in Afghanistan and is looking after South Asia and is now been made responsible for achieving that divine concept of Ghazwa-e-Hind.
The submission to the UNSC provides details of links between terror groups in Afghanistan and Pakistan and warns that in return for safe havens and the ability to pursue their own business, foreign fighters continue to operate under the authority of the Taliban in multiple Afghan provinces at undiminished levels. The Taliban and Al-Qaeda allied groups discussed in the UN's report operate throughout the region and globally. They are not currently confined to Afghanistan. These findings come against the backdrop of reports that the US and the Taliban have reached some sort of understanding on the withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan in exchange for the Taliban providing a guarantee that Afghan soil won't be used by terrorists.
In the aftermath of Pulwama attack, Indian security forces have carried out extensive search and cordon operations to root out Pakistan's Jaish Mohammad terror operatives in the Kashmir Valley. In their major crackdown against Pakistan-abated terrorism in the valley, Indian security forces have so far eliminated close to 129 terrorists this year. The number also includes 2 top commanders of Jaish Mohammad terror outfit who were recently eliminated in Shopian and Anantnag districts of South Kashmir. We have a report.
Indian Army and security forces in their massive crackdown against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir got a major achievement when they eliminated 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed commanders in 2 separate operations carried out in Shopian and Anantnag districts. A Jaish commander, Munna Lahori, specialized in assembling improvised explosive devices, was gunned down along with another terror operative in Shopian district in Jammu and Kashmir a few days ago. As per a statement issued by the Defence Ministry, Munna Lahori was responsible for a car bombing on security force convoy in Banihal and another fatal army vehicle blast in Pulwama.
The group of 20 houses was cordoned by 2000 hours and the search continued for the entire night. During search, the terrorists, they were switching houses and at last were cornered in a cowshed. When challenged, the terrorists opened fire and tried to break the cordon. Own parties fired and neutralized the terrorists at close range. The 2 terrorists neutralized are from JEM. The first is a local, Zenith from Shopian town. The second is Munna Lahori. He is a FT and the mastermind behind the Ariel ID attack.
If you analyze the last about 2-3 days, we had a Jaish-e-Mohammed ID expert who was eliminated. He was a Pakistani terrorist. Apart from that, there was an attempt of infiltration in Machal sector and also 6 spies from in Jammu region were apprehended and they were sent by ISI.
2 days later, one more achievement came security forces' way when they eliminated Fayaz Panzu, another Jaish commander in Anantnag's Bijbehra area. Fayaz Panzu, one of the top commanders in Jaish-e-Mohammed terror organization, was responsible for killing a station house officer in Anantnag and 5 CRPF personnel in South Kashmir in June. The Jaish commander, along with another terrorist, were eliminated in the encounter that began when police and security forces launched a cordon and search operation in South Kashmir's Anantnag district. The terrorist groups operating under the patronage of Pakistan have continuously been trying to infiltrate Jammu and Kashmir to wage attacks on civilians.
Pakistan Army, ISI and the terrorist group, they are behind this proxy war. They are behind this jihadi effort. They are behind this terror war. And they have not changed the track. We have to be prepared, and we have to be prepared strongly to take on this challenge.
Indian security forces, alert on borders and steadfast in carrying out Operation All Out against terrorists, have made a tremendous progress this year. So far, at least 129 terrorists have been eliminated, including top commanders of Pakistan terror outfits. Giving more teeth to the operation, 100 additional companies of security forces have been given approval to move in North Jammu and Kashmir.
Afghanistan is battered with wave of attacks from Pakistan-backed Taliban insurgents. Ever since campaigns for presidential elections have begun, the war-torn country has witnessed a series of attacks from Taliban insurgents. The latest was a roadside blast in a bus that killed at least 35 and injured more than 27. The act of violence came just days after a dastardly suicide bomb attack was waged on an office of a vice presidential candidate in Kabul. We have a report.
Only a few days ago, Afghan government had announced to hold direct talks with Taliban. Soon after the proclamation, Taliban insurgents snubbed the call and led a dastardly suicide bomb attack on vice presidential candidate Amrullah Saleh's office in Kabul. At least 20 people lost lives and 50 others got injured in the attack. Amrullah Saleh, a running mate of Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, got injured but rescued to safety along with the 150 civilians who were present in and around his 4-story office.
در اتاق 6 تا بودیم، یک چند دقیقه همونجا قد بچه‌ها قسم می‌کردیم که ناگهانی یک دفعه انفجار از طرف خانه امرالله صالح شد. اتاق ما هم دیگه نزدیک خانه دفترش هست. دیگه هم طرف چیزی دفتر امرالله صالح بسیار دیگه طرف شیشه‌اش ما 6 تا بودیم. همون شیشه ما طرف روی صورت ما واسه خود چیز کرده بود. دیگه جان ما در آمده بود هم شیشه. دیگه زیادتر ما رو افگارم که کده شیشه که چیزا افگار کرده بود.
من می ششتگی بودم که یک واده گویا گرنبس کرد دیگه داخل دود پر شده مر قلاج کرد بیرون قلاج کرد دیگه زدم خود فهمیدم که مفتیدم همونجا زدم خود داخل حمام زدم خود که دیگه انفجار شد صدای گریان غول مغول چیز آمد.
Just days after the suicide bomb blast in Kabul, Pak-backed Taliban insurgents waged another roadside attack on a bus moving on a highway linking provincial capitals of Herat and Kandahar. The attack took at least 35 lives and injured more than 27. Although Taliban have been holding peace talks with the United States for nearly a year, the group has not refrained itself from waging series of attacks in Afghanistan. As per United Nations report, at least 1,366 Afghan civilians have lost lives and almost 2,500 have been injured in the first half of the year 2019. Earlier in July, a joint declaration by participants to the intra-Afghan dialogue held in Doha called for all parties to reduce civilians' casualties to zero. Working on sidelines of peace agreement with Taliban, US Secretary of the State Mike Pompeo had also disclosed the directives of US President Donald Trump to withdraw US troops from Afghanistan.
That's my directive from the President of the United States. He's been unambiguous. End the endless wars. Draw down, reduce. It won't just be us. Those of you who have served know that resolute support has countries from all across Europe and around the world. We hope that overall the need for combat forces in the region.
Wary of more attacks on Afghan civilians and security force, Afghan government may not want US to withdraw its troops before the presidential elections get over in the war-torn country. Earlier peace dialogues have focused on two main planks: the withdrawal of Western troops and the Taliban's pledge to deny any safe haven to terrorist groups in Afghanistan. Considering the post-US troop withdrawal scenario in Afghanistan, a part of Taliban might put the arms down, but its larger group supported by Pakistan would rather ramp up attacks on Afghan citizens and security forces, as believed by the local leaders.
All these attacks has been supporting and planning in Pakistan and from Pakistan. All the Americans to become killed in Afghanistan was not killed by Afghans. All those are killed by Pakistan ISI and its militants.
In a run-up to presidential election, Afghan administration would want Taliban ceasefire at the earliest. But for now, the peaceful progression of voting in September stays an imperative for Afghan government that had to delay elections 2 times previously.
In less than a week, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has launched second ghastly terror attack in Pakistan. The latest attack in Quetta city was followed by Dera Ismail Khan's suicide bomb blast that claimed as many as 9 lives. The blast in Quetta city, which targeted the policemen, claimed the lives of 4 police personnel. The recurring terror attacks in Pakistan, especially in regions like Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, clearly signal towards the failure of Imran Khan government in handling internal law and order situation of the country. Newsweek South Asia has a report. Over the years, Pakistan-backed terrorism has risen sharply in Balochistan region. The Baloch nation has been struggling for their freedom since the occupation of Balochistan by Pakistan in 1948. This week again, people of Balochistan went through a major setback when as many as 4 policemen lost their lives in an attack carried out by Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan.
Balochistan, right from beginning, right from 1947 onward, basically did not want to be the part of Pakistan. And thereafter, as Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, the Frontier Gandhi, etc., had made it very clear that they would not like to be the part of this move of joining Pakistan, which Pakistan resented. So ever since that, there has been resentment in Balochistan, and off and on, the forces have been falling very heavily on the disgruntled people of Balochistan.
Pakistan's popularly elected government is failing miserably on all fronts, be it economic issues or maintaining internal stability. Back-to-back blasts at prominent locations of Pakistan have left the Islamabad exposed on its guarantees of launching counter-terrorism measures. When it comes to controlling situation in Balochistan, Pakistan has shown its most insensitive side. People have been losing their lives in the tussle between the terrorists and the army. The consistent terror attacks and the atrocities of Pakistan army have left no stone unturned in bringing tragic ends to the lives of Balochis.
The constant attack, terror attack, on the people of Balochistan, their life gets disjointed. The people, their school children, their normal business, they all come under great threat. And that is why, and a lot of their leaders like Bukti and all have been already executed, and a number of other executions have taken place. And Pakistan has come very heavy-handedly, especially the Pakistan army in that area.
The Quetta blast, which apparently targeted the police, took place in the car park of the city police station. Abdul Razak Chima, the Quetta police chief, said an explosive rigged motorcycle was detonated to target a police van parked outside the station in the heart of the city's busy shopping area. The blast left blood-soaked caps, shoes and other belongings scattered around the scene among pieces of broken glass and wooden doors.
नौयत के बारे में अभी हम थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्टिगेशन वाले मुतमईन नहीं हुए सीटीडी और हमारी स्पेशल ब्रांच और हमने आपस में जो वीडियो और कुछ उसको दोबारा देखेंगे और हम अभी अनाउंस नहीं करना चाहते क्योंकि ये अभी बहुत प्री मैच्योर है। बज़ाहिर यही लगता है कि ये मोटरसाइकिल का इस्तेमाल हुआ, लेकिन बंदे के साथ हुआ है, ये बंदे के बगैर हुआ है। इसकी हमें क्राइम सीन हम सिक्योर रखेंगे। सुबह जब दोबारा इसका मुआयना करेंगे तो इसकी फ़ाइनल नौयत के बारे में हम फिर बताएंगे।
Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan maintains a close relationship with Al-Qaeda as both groups share resources and territory. Historically, Al-Qaeda has provided TTP with ideological guidance, while TTP has supplied Al-Qaeda with safe haven in Pakistan along the border with Afghanistan. The United States believes that Hamza bin Laden, son of former Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden, is dead. The US media, quoting unnamed official, reported that Hamza bin Laden was killed during the first 2 years of the Trump administration. According to various analysts, since 2010, Al-Qaeda was secretly grooming Hamza bin Laden to take over the organization, a move that now appears to have been foiled, a report.
Numerous outlets, including NBC News, The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, are reporting that Hamza bin Laden, the son and presumed heir of the late Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, may have been killed, citing unnamed US intelligence officials. NBC News cited 3 US officials as saying that the United States had obtained intelligence that Hamza bin Laden is dead, saying that they would not provide details of where or when he died, or whether the United States played a role in his death. Hamza bin Laden was born in the year 1989 in Saudi Arabia. Being the son of 9/11 mastermind Osama bin Laden, Hamza's natural allegiance went with Al-Qaeda. In July 2008, a translation of a poem said to be written by Hamza was made available, which had been published on an extremist Islamic website. On 14th August 2015, he released an audio message for the very first time in which he called upon followers in Kabul, Baghdad and Gaza to wage jihad or holy war on Washington, London, Paris and Tel Aviv. Without commenting on news reports about the death of Hamza bin Laden, US President Donald Trump told that Hamza was very threatening to the United States as he used to say very bad things about the country. Hamza, believed to be about 30 years old, was at his father's side in Afghanistan before the September 11, 2001 attacks on the United States and spent time with him in Pakistan after the United States-led invasion of Afghanistan. The State Department called him a key leader in his own right. He's called for acts of terrorism in Western capitals and threatening to take revenge against the United States for his father's killing.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@ani.com. This is Surbhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.